The stars were quiet, almost peaceful, as the human fleet moved through the outer rim of Vorthan space. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, her eyes calm but sharp. Behind her, the crew worked in silence, knowing that the galaxy thought them weak. But humans were about to prove that they were anything but. "Scanners show enemy activity ahead," said Lieutenant Cade, pointing at the holographic map. "A small supply station. Minimal defenses. It's isolated but still risky." Reyes nodded. "That is exactly why we hit it," she said. "We will strike fast and disappear before they can react. Humans do not fight like the rest of the galaxy." The fleet advanced, their ships small but agile. They moved with perfect coordination, weaving through asteroid fields and debris. The Vorthan sensors had not detected them. The aliens believed space near their borders was safe. They were wrong. Back in the Vorthan Grand Hall, Creel and the Council were still reeling from the scout ship's destruction. The small incident had shaken them more than they would admit. Some counselors suggested launching a counterstrike immediately, but Creel hesitated. "They are humans," he said. "A species that acts unpredictably. We cannot rush in. We must observe and plan." The Council did not realize that observation was exactly what humans expected. They were patient, clever, and ready to exploit every weakness. In space, the human fleet reached the supply station. It was small, armored, and defended by a handful of automated drones. The Vorthans believed no human ship could survive their defense. "Target the communication arrays first," Reyes ordered. "Then disable the engines. Leave nothing functional. We are sending a message." The Valiant and the smaller attack ships darted forward. Beams of light flashed across the void as humans struck with precision. The drones fired, but the humans moved too fast. One by one, the automated defenses were destroyed. Explosions lit up the station, and alarms blared through its empty halls. From a distance, the Vorthan scouts finally noticed something was wrong. "Impossible!" shouted one officer. "They are inside our defenses. They should have been detected hours ago." But the humans were gone. The attack had lasted only minutes. By the time the Vorthans mobilized their ships, the human fleet had disappeared into the darkness of space. Back on Earth, Admiral Reyes allowed herself a small smile. "They will think it was a fluke," she said quietly. But it was no accident. Humanity never misses an opportunity. In the council hall, tension grew. Creel's eyes narrowed as he studied the reports. "This is not luck," he said. "This is strategy. Humans are intelligent. Too fast. And they do not follow predictable patterns." Some counselors murmured in fear. Others still clung to pride. "They are just small ships," one said. "They could not have done this alone." Creel turned to them. "Small? Yes. But their minds are dangerous. This is the first warning. We ignore it at our peril." Meanwhile, the human fleet returned to Earth orbit, leaving only destruction in their wake. Communications were silent. No one outside their crew would know who had struck. But the message was clear: humans were not weak, humans were not naive, and humans were no longer willing to wait quietly while the galaxy mocked them. A week passed. The Vorthans scrambled their fleets, searching for the intruders. Every system in their network was checked, every patrol doubled. Yet the humans remained hidden. They were everywhere and nowhere at once, a ghost in the void. On the bridge of the Valiant, Reyes reviewed the reports. "They are sending fleets," Lieutenant Cade said nervously. "They are preparing for war. We may not have much time." Reyes nodded. "Good," she said. "Let them prepare. Let them think they are ready. They never are. Humans will strike where they are weak, and they will never see it coming." Back in the Vorthan Council, panic began to spread. Some ships had already been lost in the outer rim due to unknown causes. Mysterious malfunctions, unexplained crashes. Each report caused more fear. The Council began to whisper about humans, the species they had laughed at. "They are dangerous," said a counselor quietly, almost afraid to speak the truth aloud. Creel's expression darkened. "We thought Earth was weak," he said. "We believed humans were nothing. We were fools. The first strike, it is only the beginning." In the shadows of space, the human fleet prepared for the next move. They were not just defending their planet. They were sending a message to the entire galaxy. Underestimate humans at your own risk. The stars waited silently, but the humans were ready. Every plan, every strike, every calculated move was designed to confuse, frighten, and defeat a galaxy that had long mocked them. And somewhere in the Vorthan fleet, officers whispered of a strange pattern. Small signals, too clever to be coincidence, spreading through their systems. No one knew yet what it meant. The first strike had ended, but the war had just begun. Humanity had shown the galaxy their power, and the consequences would be terrible for anyone who thought humans were weak. Ending hook. Far in the depths of Vorthan space, a massive fleet moved toward Earth. They believed they could crush the humans in one strike. But they did not know the real strength humans were hiding, or the clever traps waiting for them in the darkness. The Vorthan Council had never faced anything like this. Reports continued to pour in. Fleets were failing, systems malfunctioning, and scout ships disappearing without explanation. The aliens were confused, frightened, and slowly losing their pride. Creel sat at the head of the council, his multiple eyes scanning the screens. "It cannot be coincidence," he said. "Every attack, every sabotage, it is precise, calculated, intelligent. Humans, they are more dangerous than we imagined." A young counselor whispered, "Sir, their technology, it is unlike anything we have ever seen. Their weapons are small, yet they destroy massive ships. Their movements are unpredictable." Creel's expression darkened. "They fight differently," he said. "They do not rely on brute strength or overwhelming numbers. They use strategy, intelligence, and something we cannot yet measure." Far across space, in a hidden asteroid field, the human fleet prepared for its next move. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, her calm presence hiding the intensity of her mind. She studied the holographic map, plotting the next strike. "Lieutenant Cade," she said, "deploy the new weapon. The one they cannot see coming. Make sure it reaches the target undetected." Cade nodded, his hands flying over the controls. A small, unassuming device detached from the fleet. To any observer it looked like a tiny probe, almost harmless. But inside, it carried energy powerful enough to cripple a Vorthan warship. The fleet moved silently, avoiding patrols and sensors. The Vorthans were still looking for the obvious threat. Massive fleets, loud engines, visible weapons. They were not prepared for subtlety, for cunning, for something small that could destroy great power. The first target appeared on the holographic screens, a Vorthan repair station critical for keeping their outer fleets operational. The humans approached in silence, hidden in the shadows of asteroids. "Deploy," Reyes ordered. The small devices sped forward, invisible on all sensors. Within minutes, the repair station systems failed. Engines shut down. Weapons stopped working. Alarms rang, but no one could see the cause. A single human device had disabled an entire station. On the Vorthan Council, panic erupted. What is happening?" one officer screamed. "Our ships, our stations, they fail without reason." Creel's eyes widened. "Humans have a hidden weapon," he said. "Something we cannot fight with conventional tactics. This is far beyond what we expected." Back on Earth, the crew of the Valiant monitored the effects. Reports confirmed the device worked perfectly. Not a single human life was lost. They had struck decisively, leaving the Vorthans confused, fearful, and vulnerable. "This is only the beginning," Admiral Reyes said quietly. "They think they understand us. They are wrong. They have never seen humans fight like this." In the outer rim, Vorthan fleets scrambled to respond. Ships launched toward the destroyed station, trying to find the attackers. But the humans were gone, moving in new, unpredictable patterns. They struck fast and then disappeared before the enemy could react. Creel clenched his tentacle-like hands. "We underestimated them," he muttered. "We believed humans were weak, primitive, incapable. But look at what they have done with a few ships and a single weapon. They are a threat beyond reason." Back on Earth, scientists watched the mysterious devices return to the fleet. No one outside the command center knew their full capability. Only the humans knew the true power they wielded, a mixture of intelligence, ingenuity, and courage. "Prepare for the next strike," Reyes said. "The galaxy will try to respond. They will try to overwhelm us. But humans are not simple. They are never predictable." And far across the stars, the Vorthans realized the terrible truth. Their empire, their fleets, their pride, all were at risk. The humans had not only survived, they had revealed a weapon no one could foresee. The unexpected war had escalated. The galaxy watched, afraid, as Earth's hidden strength became clear. Humans were no longer a small, weak species. They were a force that no one could understand, and even fewer could stop. Ending hook. Deep in enemy space, a massive Vorthan flagship began to move toward Earth. The aliens believed overwhelming force could crush the humans. But they did not yet know the real extent of the unseen weapon, nor the human strategy that waited to strike in shadows. The galaxy had begun to whisper. Word of the humans' first strike spread through space like fire. Fleets that had once laughed at Earth now trembled at the thought of it. Alien species who had ignored humans for centuries were now watching in fear, unsure of what was coming next. In the Vorthen Grand Hall, tension filled the air. Screens showed maps of human fleets moving faster than expected, striking in ways no one could predict. Supply stations failed, patrols vanished, and even the strongest ships were forced to retreat after small, precise attacks. Creel's many eyes darted across the council chamber. "We underestimated them," he said, his voice low and serious. "Every move they make is calculated. Every strike is perfect. Humans are not just clever, they are dangerous." Other counselors whispered nervously. Some refused to accept it, blaming luck or coincidence. But the evidence was undeniable. The humans had something the galaxy had never seen: cunning, speed, and adaptability combined in a single species. Far from the council, Admiral Reyes watched the monitors on the Valiant. "They think they understand us," she said quietly. "But they only see what we want them to see. Humans are always learning, always adapting. That is our strength." The human fleet moved like shadows through space, striking enemy positions and then disappearing. Small, unexpected attacks continued to cause massive disruptions in Vorthen operations. Ships malfunctioned, weapons stopped working, and entire fleets were forced to withdraw. Back on Earth, scientists monitored the effects of these attacks. They had no idea how the humans were doing it, but they trusted Admiral Reyes. Humanity had prepared for this for decades: secret weapons, hidden fleets, and a plan that no one could predict. In distant star systems, alien governments began to panic. News of the humans' success spread, causing unrest. Traders stopped traveling near human space. Diplomats tried to understand what was happening, but the humans were careful. No message, no signal, no mistake revealed their full power. Within the Vorthen Council, a heated debate erupted. Some wanted to strike Earth directly, to destroy the planet before humans could grow stronger. Others argued that such an attack would fail. The humans had proven time and again that they could strike in ways no one could anticipate. Creel stood, his voice echoing through the chamber. "The galaxy has watched and laughed at humans for too long," he said. "They think we are strong. They think Earth is weak. But we have seen their power now. And they are only beginning." Meanwhile, the humans prepared their next mission. The target was a heavily guarded Vorthen command hub, vital for coordinating fleets across several star systems. Most species would approach with caution, but humans had never been cautious. They were bold, daring, and precise. "Lieutenant Cade," Admiral Reyes said, "ensure every ship is ready. This attack must be flawless. The galaxy is watching, and so are we." As the fleet moved into position, alien observers watched in disbelief. Small human ships darted in and out of asteroid fields, using the darkness and debris as cover. No sensors could track them. No fleet could match their speed and coordination. Creel clenched his hands. "It is not just the weapons," he said. "It is their mind. They fight differently. They think differently. They are unpredictable. That is what makes them dangerous." The humans struck at the command hub with small, hidden devices. Within minutes, communications were down, weapons were disabled, and the hub was in chaos. And once again, the humans vanished before the aliens could respond. Across the galaxy, leaders began to take notice. Humans were no longer a curiosity or a joke. They were a threat, one that no species could ignore. Fleets were recalled, patrols reinforced, and war councils convened in a panic. Back on the Valiant, Admiral Reyes watched the aftermath unfold. "They will try to fight us," she said. "They will try to understand us. But they will never be ready. Humans are not just fighters. We are survivors, thinkers, and warriors. And now the galaxy has no choice but to respect us, or fear us." Ending hook. Somewhere in deep space, a massive Vorthen fleet began mobilizing for a full assault on Earth. They believed overwhelming force could end the humans once and for all. But they did not yet understand the humans' real power, the clever traps, hidden technology, and strategies waiting for them in the shadows. The Vorthen capital was a fortress in the stars. Massive ships surrounded the planet, shielded by layers of weapons and energy barriers. The alien leaders believed nothing could touch them here. They were wrong. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, overlooking the human fleet. Every ship was ready. Every crew member was trained and prepared for what lay ahead. They were smaller than the Vorthen forces, but humans had something no alien could match: strategy, courage, and unpredictability. "Lieutenant Cade," Reyes said calmly, "deploy the shadow squads. They will strike the weak points while the main fleet distracts them." Timing is everything. Cade nodded. The small human ships darted forward, weaving between asteroids and debris. To the Vorthans, the humans seemed everywhere at once. Their movements were chaotic but perfectly coordinated. The first wave struck the outer defenses. Human weapons were small but devastating. Shields overloaded, weapon systems failed, and alarms screamed across the Vorthan capital. The aliens scrambled to respond, but it was too late. Inside the Vorthan Grand Hall, Creel watched in horror as reports came in. "Impossible," he shouted. "Our shields, our fleets, they cannot be defeated so easily." Other counselors panicked. "Call for reinforcements," one demanded. "We cannot let Earth survive this." Creel's many eyes narrowed. "We underestimated them," he said. "We laughed at humans, and now we will pay the price." Back in space, the humans struck again. Shadow squads infiltrated critical stations, disabling weapons and communication systems. The Vorthan flagship, the largest ship in the fleet, suddenly went dark. Its engines faltered. Alarms blared, but the human strike team had vanished before anyone could react. Admiral Reyes watched the battlefield unfold. "They are not ready for us," she said. "Their overconfidence will be their downfall. We are small, but clever. They cannot predict us." The main fleet of human ships engaged the enemy in direct combat, but unlike any normal battle, they did not try to overpower the Vorthans. Instead, they created distractions, drawing the enemy into traps. Explosions erupted, but the humans stayed safe, moving with speed and precision. The Vorthans struggled to adapt. Their massive fleets, which once made them feel unstoppable, were now vulnerable. Small human ships darted between them, hitting targets they thought were protected. Systems failed mysteriously. Ships exploded without clear reason. Inside the Vorthan command center, counselors screamed at each other. "How is this happening?" one yelled. "We are stronger, faster, and better equipped." Creel's tentacle-like hands clenched. "It is not about strength," he said. "It is their mind. Humans are clever, daring, and fearless. They fight differently. And we cannot stop them." In the chaos, human shadow squads reached the heart of the Vorthan capital. They struck critical points, leaving the command systems paralyzed. Communication between fleets was cut off. The Vorthan leaders tried to coordinate, but the humans had anticipated every move. Admiral Reyes smiled faintly. "The first wave is complete," she said. "Now we consolidate and strike again. The galaxy must see what humans are capable of." Outside, explosions lit the void as the human fleet continued to dominate. Ships that had once mocked Earth now fled in fear. The Vorthans realized that their empire, their pride, and their fleets were not enough. Humans had proven themselves not only equal but superior in strategy and courage. Creel looked at the remaining counselors. "We cannot ignore them anymore," he said quietly. "They are not small, weak, or foolish. They are terrifying." Back on the Valiant, Reyes observed the retreating Vorthan fleets. "The galaxy will talk about this battle for centuries," she said. "But this is only the beginning. Humans fight not just with weapons, but with their minds, their hearts, and their will to survive." The human fleet returned to Earth orbit, victorious but ready. They had struck the alien capital, shattered their defenses, and sent a message across the stars: "Do not underestimate humanity." Ending hook. Far beyond the Vorthan capital, whispers spread through alien fleets. Humans were no longer a joke. They were a force the galaxy could not ignore. And the final stage of the war, one that would show Earth's true power, was about to begin. The galaxy had never seen anything like this. Humans had struck the Vorthan fleets repeatedly, outsmarting and outmaneuvering forces far larger than their own. Now the time had come to show the galaxy their full power. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, her eyes calm but filled with determination. Behind her, the human fleet moved like shadows through space. Every ship was ready. Every crew member knew their role. Every weapon was prepared. "Today," Reyes said quietly, "we show them who humans truly are." The Vorthan fleets were gathered near their capital, believing that overwhelming numbers would crush Earth once and for all. But they underestimated one thing: humans do not fight like the rest of the galaxy. "Deploy the final devices," Reyes ordered. "Strike in their weak points. Make them see us, and fear us." Small ships darted forward, invisible to enemy sensors. Hidden devices disabled weapons, engines, and communications. Systems failed mysteriously, causing chaos in the massive alien fleets. Panic spread like wildfire. Inside the Vorthan Grand Hall, Creel's eyes widened in disbelief. How can they do this?" he whispered. "They are small, Yet they destroy our largest ships with ease. Counselors shouted orders, but nothing worked. Every move the Vorthons made had been anticipated. Humans were not just fighting, they were controlling the battlefield. The human fleet pressed forward, striking key targets across the Vorthon space. Supply lines were cut. Command hubs were destroyed. Ships that once seemed invincible fell one by one. The Vorthon leaders realized they were no longer in control. "Admiral," Lieutenant Cade said, "the flagship is within range. If we strike now." Reyes nodded. "Do it. Show them our final move." A small group of human ships approached the massive flagship, carrying devices far more powerful than anything the Vorthons had ever seen. With precision and speed they deployed the devices. The flagship's engines sputtered. Shields collapsed. Its weapons overloaded and exploded. The giant ship, symbol of Vorthon pride, was gone. Silence filled the Vorthon Council. No one moved. The aliens had underestimated humans, and now they paid the ultimate price. On Earth, people watched the aftermath unfold. They did not cheer. They did not celebrate. Humanity had proven itself, yes, but the galaxy had just learned a terrifying lesson. Humans fought not with arrogance, but with intelligence, courage, and unity. Reyes turned to her crew. "The galaxy will never ignore Earth again," she said. "We have shown them our strength. But remember, our victory is not just in battle. It is in our spirit, our courage, and our will to survive." In the void of space, the remaining Vorthon fleets retreated, broken and afraid. Aliens across the galaxy sent messages of fear and respect. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were a force that could not be ignored, a species that had risen against impossible odds and won. Creel stared at the empty space where his flagship once floated. His voice was barely a whisper. "We laughed at them, and now we face the consequences. Humanity, they are beyond anything we imagined." The human fleet returned to Earth orbit, victorious but vigilant. The galaxy had learned that humans were not weak, not predictable, and not to be underestimated. And somewhere in the stars, other species watched quietly, wondering how they could ever survive if humanity chose to strike again. Admiral Reyes looked out at the stars, calm and confident. "We are ready," she said. "The galaxy has learned a lesson. Humanity fights differently. Humanity survives. And humanity will never be stopped." The war had ended, for now. But the legend of Earth's strength, courage, and cleverness would echo through the stars for centuries. Humans had struck back, and the galaxy would never forget. Ending note: the unexpected war had shown one undeniable truth. Underestimating humanity was the greatest mistake any species could make. The galaxy had laughed, and now it trembled. The Grand Hall of the Vorthon Council was massive. Hundreds of alien leaders from different star systems filled the chamber. Their bodies shimmered in strange colors, and their many eyes scanned every corner of the hall. At the center of it all, on a floating platform, the council discussed Earth. "They call themselves humans," said the tallest of them, a Vorthon named Creel. His voice echoed through the hall. "And yet they barely have fleets. Their defenses are laughable. Look at these tiny ships on the scanners. Weak, slow, and primitive." The others laughed, a sound like metal grinding on metal. They shook their heads and whispered among themselves. None of them had any respect for Earth. To them, humans were nothing more than a joke in the galaxy, an insignificant blue planet full of simple creatures. Far across space, in the calm orbit around Earth, Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the largest human ship, the Valiant. Unlike the aliens, she did not laugh. Her face was calm, almost unreadable. Her hands rested lightly on the railing as she watched the stars. "Admiral," her second-in-command said nervously, "the scanners are picking up Vorthon activity near the outer rim. They are preparing fleets. They are talking about us." Reyes nodded slowly. "Let them talk," she said. "We have waited long enough. Let the galaxy underestimate us." On Earth, scientists monitored strange signals coming from deep space. One signal, unlike any before, blinked repeatedly, almost as if it were trying to communicate. Every lab in the world scrambled to decode it, but no one could understand its meaning. The code was too advanced, too fast, too strange. In the Vorthon Grand Hall, the laughter continued. "Humans are illogical," Creel said. "They fight with emotion, not reason. They have no strategy, no discipline. They cannot even defend their own planet properly." Then, without warning, the Council's main monitors flickered. A small Vorthon scout ship, hovering near the outer planets, suddenly went dark. Its engines failed and it spun out of control. Alarms blared through the Council chamber. Screens showed the ship hurtling toward a barren moon, smashing into it with a deafening explosion. The hall went silent. The laughter stopped. Whispers of confusion and fear began to spread. How is this possible? One counselor gasped. Our sensors, they are perfect. Nothing should have gone wrong. Creel's eyes narrowed. This is human work. Back on Earth, Admiral Reyes watched the alerts on her console. A small smile appeared on her face. They think this is a coincidence, she murmured. They will learn soon enough that humans do not act like anyone expects. In the council hall, tension grew. Aliens who had laughed moments before now looked uneasy. They could not explain how such a tiny planet, with such simple ships, could destroy a well-equipped scout vessel. Their pride was wounded, their confidence shaken. Meanwhile, on the moon where the scout ship crashed, small lights flickered in the darkness. Unknown to the Vorthans, Earth had been monitoring every movement in their space for decades. The mysterious signal that had confused scientists was part of a larger plan. A network of hidden devices orbiting in secret, waiting for the right moment. Back on the Valiant, Reyes turned to her crew. Prepare for what comes next, she said. The galaxy has ignored us for too long. It's time they remember who we are. Her voice was calm, but there was fire behind it. The fire of a species that refused to bow to stronger enemies. She knew the Council thought humans were weak. They believed that tiny ships and small defenses meant Earth could be destroyed easily. They were wrong. The Council debated what to do. Some suggested sending the main fleet to destroy Earth before it could become a threat. Others argued for caution. But no one could deny the warning. A human had struck first and it had worked perfectly. As the Council argued, a new alert appeared on their screens. Another human signal, stronger this time, pulsed through space. It reached deep into the Council's communication network, spreading confusion. Systems that had been reliable for centuries suddenly faltered. Some lights flickered. Doors locked and unlocked on their own. It was a small, simple act, but its meaning was clear. Humans had power beyond what anyone could imagine. In the silence that followed, Creel looked around at the other Council members. Their expressions mirrored his own, disbelief and fear. For the first time, they understood that humans were not a species to laugh at. On Earth, Admiral Reyes stared out at the stars. The signal had worked, the first move in a game that the Vorthans thought was theirs to control. She knew the road ahead would be dangerous. The Council would respond with force. But humans had one advantage the galaxy would never expect: courage, creativity, and the will to survive against impossible odds. The first blow had been struck. The galaxy had laughed at Earth for the last time. Ending hook. Somewhere deep in alien space, another Vorthan ship twitched. Its engines sparked, its systems failed. A mysterious signal from Earth had caused it to malfunction. The unexpected war had begun.